Hello, Libra. Welcome to your August connection session. I am Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and welcome to whatever. So we're going to be looking at the energy between you as well as a person of interest, and then we're getting into a more specific spread. We're going to be looking at how your person of interest thinks as well as feels about you. Oh, God, what's going on with these cards? Okay, that's way too many cards, but I can probably, let me see. Okay, well, that's almost enough. I'll just go ahead and pick the rest of these since a big old stack fell out. All right, so anywho, so the overall energy representing Libra in the month of August, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. So in reference to your person of interest, Libra, you guys are dealing with someone that is a bit familiar to a type that you have dealt with in the past. And I feel there's a level of reluctance there, and more or less, and let me say this. I won't necessarily say that full on that this person is exactly like people that you've dealt in the past. I feel more or less it's something they said or something that they did that kind of put your antennas up to where you're potentially looking at the person kind of side-eyed and wondering if they're like something you've dealt with in the past. Because I feel like the stance that Libra is taking at present, everything you've experienced up to this point, you've had enough. You've put a period at the end of the sentence and you're not wanting to relive the past. So I feel like you guys are kind of extra on guard. You know what I mean? And kind of reluctant to kind of jump right in, right? Because what I know about Libras is typically you guys are kind of vibey. So the thought is, it's like if the vibe isn't necessarily right with a person, if you don't like click or connect with them in the beginning, I'll say it like this. I've never met a Libra who has started to like a person after an extended period of time. So meaning like this person is attractive, they have a lot going for them, and you were like friends with them. You know what I'm saying? And then one day woke up and we're like, wow, we've been friends for 5 years and suddenly I think I have feelings for you, right? I've never really seen it go that way with a Libra. So typically when you guys end up with someone from the very beginning, even if you were off put by something, there was something about them that really drew you to them. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like you guys are in a place to where you're holding yourself back from that because the perception would more or less be that's gotten me into trouble in the past. So I'm not just going to go with the vibe. You know what I mean? So with this person, I feel it's something they said or something they did, or maybe something they posted, something that you saw to where there's kind of like I don't know, with you, I'm watching you kind of vibe, right? Now with your person of interest, interesting, we have the Hanged Man. That is Virgo energy. With your person, they're in a similar place to you, Libra. However, I feel with them it's a little bit more conscious, it's a little bit more controlled, it's a little bit more directed. It's them being consciously aware, and I don't know if this is, I don't necessarily think it doesn't have to be recent, but I would say recent in the sense of like this person's last connection or partnership, relationship, or what have you. They're in the headspace to where they're very consciously aware of choices and decisions that I have made up to this point led me to where it is that I am presently in my love life, right? Whether for good or for bad, right? So the positive thing about this is the fact that they're taking personal accountability for why they are where it is that they are, but it feels to me very top of mind. But I feel also with that, it's something that kind of set that off. For some of you, like I was saying before, it could potentially be because something recently ended with this person. But the reason why I don't really feel that that's the case, because I've never seen that happen. I've never seen a person where a relationship has ended and they've instantaneously had self-awareness and said, I know exactly why it is that this relationship didn't work out. This is what I contributed to the problem, what that person contributed to the problem. It feels more to me potentially that this person either is going through some sort of like spiritual journey, spiritual awakening, or simply put, they're in therapy right now and they're recognizing like their behavior patterns. Or maybe potentially this person, I'm gonna have to add that to the repertoire. I never looked at that like that. This, god damn it. My laptop did the thing again. I am so sorry, Libra. I apologize. Please donate to my GoFundMe. I'm trying to get a new laptop, y'all. I hate this. I hate that it does this. It's so annoying. Ugh. We're almost there, guys. I've had a lot of people donate, and I've been looking for like open box laptops and things. Give me a second, Libra. Let me fix this. Jeez Louise. Okay, Libra, I apologize for that. Like I said, please donate to my GoFundMe. I'm trying to get a new laptop. I apologize. But anywho, the thing I was about to say is I was like, I need to add this to the repertoire because I've never gotten this message with the hangman, but I will add that to my list of things now. But the vibe I was getting with this person is kind of like a 12-step program. You know what I'm saying? So it could very well be like how I was saying, like, it feels very like at the surface of what it is that they're dealing with. So it could be that they were like in therapy, but right before my computer did the stupid wonky thing that it does, I was about to say it could be like a 12-step program. So like a person who's like in recovery, you know what I mean? Because the vibe that I feel from this hangman is like, it's a very conscious, personally accountable, keep my nose clean, very rigid, regimented, step by step kind of vibe that I'm feeling from this person. And it's like they're consciously living that way. And the energy signature of that would be very reminiscent of a person who is like in recovery and like working the steps and stuff like that. So it's like them making sure that they're keeping themselves accountable to maintain their recovery. But overall, with them, like I said, it's heavier because of this being a major arcana, but I still see the similarity and the energy between the two of you because I feel their reluctance is driven by their journey. And like, so they're not being as fluid as they would be because of this journey that they're on. But with you guys, it feels more like I don't want to repeat past mistakes. So it's like I'm kind of, taking my time and looking at your side-eyed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But the energy between the two of you, oh, boob. This was actually the energy. Are you guys dealing with a Taurus? Let me know in the comments if that is the case or if you have Taurus in your chart. But this is the 7 of Cuppies in the reverse. That was the energy between the two people in Taurus's reading. That's interesting. But then again, you guys are, Venetian brethren and sisterin. I'm going to have to ask my astrology gal if Venus is doing something in the sky right now. Maybe that has something to do with this. But anywho, but with the 7 of Cuppies in the reverse, it's very similar to like what I said for Taurus and the fact that both of you are approaching each other in a very grounded, sober, and clear way. Something else I could say, if potentially Libra or your person of interest, if you guys were dating like multiple people, it's like it's becoming very clear at this point that both of you feel like, okay, this person is the person that I'd really want to take stuff to the next level with. So it's like if there were other options, it's like those other options aren't necessarily looking as good as each other. And I would even say more so like if you were like on a dating app and like, like on dating apps, you'll talk to multiple people. It's like this particular person is starting, well, both of you actually are starting to take each other's interest to where it's like you're wanting to spend, more time together or wanting to focus your energy on really getting to know the other person. But both of you are feeling this on either side. And another thing I can say with this is the way that both of you are approaching the connection between each other. It's very grounded. You know what I mean? You're not idealizing, you're not fantasizing. It's like you're taking things for what they are. Like you're taking things for face value in so many words. So you're not like, making this person out to more than they're supposed to be, or, ignoring red flags. It's like you're really seeing stuff for what it is. So I feel like that's a good energy to have between the two of you. Now, getting into the more specific spread, first, we're starting out with your person of interest, fleeting thoughts. The first card we have, wait, boob, is the Knight of Wands. Then we have the Six of Pentacles. This is fascinating. Okay, then we have the Six of Cuppies in the reverse. Fascinating. And their conscious thoughts towards you. We have Temperance. Ha, that's funny. And that's Sagittarius. That's actually funny. That's interesting. Since I said I was saying 12-step program, like, back in the day, like AA and all that was like, the temperance movement. You know what I'm saying? Look at that, connections. And okay, anyway, all right. That's me being, a nerd. Okay. But anyway, moving right along. So what it's looking like with your person of interest, with their fleeting thoughts, and this is pretty fascinating. They are very drawn and very attracted to you. I don't see that as like a bad thing. And I mean, I can see it both ways. Whether if you and this person have been, dating, like y'all are in a relationship, or this is someone that's pretty new, I don't feel like that's a bad thing. That kind of goes back to what I was saying to you guys in the beginning, with you guys overall energy being the Page of Wands in the reverse, like how you guys typically want like that chemistry and that connection, with a person. So with this person, they see that with you. It's like there's this, draw, like a magnetism almost. They're very physically attracted to you and drawn to you. So, the whole sexual attraction element with that. And I mean, if you guys have smashed already, they feel like smashing you is nice and wonderful and they enjoy it very much, right? However, with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, there's some worries that they have in reference to you on if a connection with you would be balanced and reciprocal, right? So it's more or less them, I don't want to necessarily say worrying, but it's like it's considering like, if I were to be in a connection with this person, would they like match my energy? Like with what I'm willing to invest or what I'm putting in or what I'm doing for them, are they going to do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? And I can say, like, y'all gonna have to follow me, because with this Six of Cups in the reverse, I can see this in two different ways, to where the person listening, this could be two different states in a relationship. Because with the Six of Cups in the reverse, it's like they're thinking about things that have transpired past tense. And this could either be in past relationships or in the specific connection with you, if you guys have been together for some time. So why I say kind of follow me, because I'm going to be kind of flip-flopping between the two. But I feel with the energy that I'm seeing so far, it can kind of go one or two ways. I'm leaning more towards this being like newly dating people. That's what it feels more like to me. But I can also see the possibility to where, this is a connection where y'all done been through some things. You know what I'm saying? And when I say been through some things, kind of, this would feel more like a couple where it's on again, off again, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like y'all are together, then y'all go your separate ways, you come back together type of thing. But it feels not so much like runner chaser kind of vibes, but just like you kind of fall off and kind of keep finding your way back to each other. If this is people who've been together for a while, so just follow me, because I'm gonna be flip-flopping. But anywho, with this Six of Pentacles in the reverse, if we're speaking about like a new person, the Six of Cups in the reverse is speaking to their past experience. It's like every time, very similar to what I said with you guys, Page of Wands, every time I feel this chemistry with someone and I feel this instantaneous attraction or this magnetism, it's like based on what I've experienced past tense, it's always me, calling them all the time. It's always me wanting to hang out, whatever. It's always me investing more than the other person is investing. So it's almost their perception in relationships is like, it's very one-sided. So people that they've dealt with past tense have been very concerned about what they want, what they need, what's going to make them happy. And they're not really considering the other person. It's almost like your person of interest role in their past relationships has been them being like of service or in service to the person that they're with, and everything being fixated on what they want and need, but them not having that reciprocated back to them. And now, if you guys, have been dating this person, then this would be a similar kind of situation to where they do still feel a very strong magnetism and a pull towards you. But looking at how things have been past tense, and this can go both ways. Either they feel it was one-sided where they were investing a lot, or they're aware that you were investing a lot and they weren't really putting too much into it. Now, the thing I can say with this, I just heard from a guides, is if you guys have been dealing with each other, the thing I feel specifically, how you would know that this is your reading, the thing I feel specifically that got in the way is like work related stuff. So it's like your person of interest was just very consumed by their job. And the thing that always caused the problem was them traveling a lot or working super late, or them always prioritizing, responsibilities with work over you, to where, I mean, it could be Valentine's Day and y'all had reservations and they would choose to do work over, going to eat dinner with you for Valentine's Day. That's the specifier that I have if this is people who've been dealing with each other for a while, right? But overall, in their fleeting thoughts, it is a bit conflicted because it's fears from the past that they're projecting in the present, but still being aware, like, I'm really drawn to this person and I'm really in to Libra. You know what I mean? Now, with their conscious thoughts being temperance, I would say how they're approaching this connection with you is very tempered, for lack of better words. So it's very slow, drawn out, like that methodical kind of vibe I was getting in that Hanged Man with them. I feel is very first date, second date, third date. You know what I'm saying? First base, second base. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything to where it's moving super fast, right? But like I said, what I find interesting about this, with this Knight of Wands, that's what they want to do, right? Their natural inclination would be like, don't ask any questions. This feels right, go with it. But like I was saying, the vibe I get from this person, very similar to you, Libra. So y'all are in the same boat. They usually jump in head first because it feels good. But with this journey that they're on, they've realized that hasn't really worked out for me in the past. So even though I feel the same type of draw to Libra, I'm gonna, slow and steady wins the race. As much as I want to say, do you want to come to my house? I'm not gonna say that. We're gonna go get coffee, right? So I feel with this person is really enacting whatever kind of journey they're on. Like I said, spiritual or, therapy, 12-step, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to implement that into their everyday life. But what I know as a therapist, to give you some kind of, insider tea, I think it's very adorable when I see it happen. But whenever, I have a client that's coming in, they're learning new skills, they're very robotic. You know what I'm saying? With implementing the skills into their life, because it's not second nature. So if you guys are kind of picking that up from the person, that they seem like very mechanical and like robotic with stuff, or like pausing before they answer questions, that's a very interesting question. You know what I'm saying? Doing stuff like that, it's because they're learning how to implement these new skills in their daily life. It's not second nature, so it's not as fluid. You know what I mean? But the thing I say that's a positive is this person is really head focused on, making a change in their life and doing things differently, which, like I said, isn't much different from where it is that you guys are. They're very stickler with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're dead ass in here, like head first into it. You know what I'm saying? But so that's what they're consciously aware of in reference to you. So it's them saying, I need to take my time with Libra. I need to be careful with Libra. I can't, let my desires or my emotions take me out of control. It's like I need to be very regimented with how it is that I'm approaching them, not staying on the phone too long. You know what I mean? Not falling asleep on the phone. Everything's almost like a scheduled kind of deal. It's not just like, hey, what you doing? Want to hang out? You know what I'm saying? But they're doing that for their benefit as well as for yours, so they don't repeat past mistakes. But I say that's still kind of interesting as well. That's always, I wouldn't necessarily say like a worry per se, but it's always something I'm heads up about, because the thing with that is, I mean, it's understandable given the situation, but you have to be careful with that, because when you are approaching things this way, you're really allowing your past to drive your present. You know what I mean? Because you're so fearful of falling back into bad behaviors, Libra, right? Because that's what I was seeing with y'all. You're so fearful of falling back into past behaviors that you're almost like sin conscious in a sense. Like you're focusing so much energy on not fucking up. That's kind of how you set yourself up to fuck up in so many ways. But that's a conversation I should be having with your personal interest, your person of interest, not with you. But anyway, moving right along. So there's subconscious impression and projection. Interesting. Is the Four of Wands. This card came up in Taurus as well. This is fascinating. So with your person of interest, their subconscious impression, this is something I can tell you. I wouldn't be shocked if, because this person sounds like a Libra to me energetically. Let me know in the chat or in the comments, Libra, if your person of interest is also a Libra. I would find that so fascinating. And if they have Taurus in their chart, let me know. Because this is giving me straight Libra vibes. Like with this person at the core of who and what they are, which would kind of make their past experience make sense to me. This person is a husband-wife kind of person. This is a person who, like, the core of who they are is very much desiring to be in a partnership. Like that is how they're not going to self-identify, because this is in their subconscious. And this may even be something that they're fighting against, which could be why it is that we're seeing all of this conflict in their headspace. But this person's core, true soul level desire is to be in a partnership. Like they, at their core, are husband material, are wife material, want the 2.5 kids and house with the white picket fence. Like that is their ideal state of being. Something I do feel that can come up because of this being in their subconscious, which kind of bleeds into what they're potentially projecting, is this person could be potentially a bit of a commitment phobe, to where, Princess India, girl, take the trash out. Okay, girl. Alexa telling me to take the trash out, child. I love how that happens. She gonna say it again. Hold on. Princess India, here is your reminder. Take the trash out. Okay, Alexa girl. Sorry about that. But anyway, this could potentially be a little bit of a commitment phobe, because what I'm seeing potentially could transpire with them is if a person is coming to them, which I'm being told isn't necessarily a problem with you because you're as reluctant as they are. If a person is coming to them off the gate saying, I'm looking for marriage, I date, to be married, or, whatever the case, when a person is coming at them like that because they don't see themselves as this, when a person comes to them like that, that freaks them out. You know what I'm saying? Or if a person is pressuring commitment, like, when are you going to commit to me? When are you going to propose to me? Like when a person does that, that can potentially be triggering for them, to where that freaks them out and they kind of, run away in a sense, because they don't recognize that desire within themselves. Is more or less with this person, like how they're being very methodical with things. It would have to be like a natural progression with this person. I feel with them, it would kind of scare them away in a sense if, like, okay, perfect word. Thank you for that. If you gave them an ultimatum, like this isn't a person who would work well with an ultimatum. Like if you're just dating the person, because child, I'm seeing some things in my career, had people tell me some things, but I've had some clients that have told me that they've gone on dates with people, and like date one being like, so look, I'm dating for marriage. I'm trying to settle down, be married, and have kids. Like, do you have baby mamas? Do you have a secret wife? Like, what's going, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a little too heavy for a first date. It's completely understandable if you don't have time for games, but that approach just really doesn't work. Because if you think about it realistically, if there is a person who's trying to waste your time and play games, do you honestly think sitting across a table from them and being like, do you have a secret child, a secret wife, or, you know what I'm saying, side chicks? How many chicks are you talking to right now? Like, are you dating for marriage? Are you serious? Do you honestly think this person would be like, yes, I have 3 side children. Yes, I do have a wife, and I am trying to waste your time. They're not gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? So that's not an ideal approach, right? But if one were to approach it in like an aggressive kind of fashion like that, even though I understand the sentiment, with this person, it would totally freak them out. Now, that's just kind of like side stuff that I'm saying, because with your approach, Libra, I really don't think you guys would be on that type of time. Because, like I said, I feel with you guys, you're looking at this person side eyed, because the same way that they're thinking about their past and wondering if you're like people that they've dated before, to where it's like a one-sided type of connection. I feel like Libra is thinking the same things. So if you're okay with like a natural progression type of thing, I feel like that would be the ideal approach with a person like this. But it's like deep down inside, that's what it is that they're truly wanting. And I can even say again, on the projection side, it's they see that in you. So if we go back to the Knight of Wands, it's like that magnetism, that attraction, that chemistry that it is that they're feeling for you. It's not just a, sexual type of thing. It's actually, to me, I feel it kind of like a spiritual thing, because I see an energy similar to this with like people who have kids together and stuff. It's like, it's one of those things where, and not saying this part about you guys, but it's like a lot of people who have kids together and like, get divorced, or if you're in a relationship and you have kids together and you don't ultimately end up together, it's like an energy signature that says like that kid was supposed to be here between these two particular people. Perfect example. If you're a Twilight fan, and if you think about like Jacob and like his like thing with Bella, like how he was just like so drawn to Bella, but as soon as Bella had her daughter, Renesmee, I hate that name, but once Renesmee was born, it's like he imprinted on her, because he realized that the whole reason why he was drawn to her was because he was really like, meant to be with her daughter. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Let's not get into the logistics that that's happening with anyone. But anyway, but it's like that's kind of like the energy signature. You know what I mean? It's like that draw and that attraction was for that particular reason. And then it's like once that happens, it's like gone type of deal. Not saying that's specifically you guys' situation, but meaning that energy signature. You know what I'm saying? So with them, how they're understanding it is just like, dang, like, I don't know what it is about them. I just feel this chemistry, this draw with them. The truth of it from their subconscious is the fact that you are supposed to play a pivotal role in this person's life. And what it's looking like to me with this Four of Wands is it would be like, happy life, happy wife, family, kids, like the whole 9 yards type of thing. Potentially, girl. Change the AC filter. Now she's telling me to change my AC filter, child. Stop telling me to do things anyway. But literally like a marriage kind of girl. Princess India, here is your reminder. Change the AC filter. Just let me know if this is done. I'm gonna do it, girl. Lord. Y'all can tell I have ADHD. All these reminders I'll be telling Alexa to remind me. Anyway, move around along. But anywho, but yeah, it's like there's the potential for that. So I feel that you and this person, y'all have like an energetic cord almost to where you and this person are supposed to play a pivotal role in each other's lives. You know what I mean? But it's with them, they don't know what it is. But now we know what it is. You feel what I'm saying? And it's really the sense that the two of you are intended to be together. The thing I think is dope about this, Libra, where it is that you guys are right now, this would be an ideal person for you, because even though it's for different reasons why you guys are at this place, it's the fact that both of you are approaching this connection from a very clear, sober mindset and going through the proper stages to where you're not, like rushing in and jumping in head first. And I feel like for your safety, this is like the ideal type of deal you would want. You know what I'm saying? Because both of you are aware that, you're attracted to each other. But I feel Libra needs that trust. Like you need that time frame for you to slowly start to open up and not be expected to fully open yourself up. And that's very much where this person is. Now, with their feelings towards you, interesting. We have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So that's pretty much, child, summing up everything that I said. With them, it's a confusion. It's like, especially with their subconscious, them not being aware of that, they don't really know what they're feeling. They know that they like you. They know that there's potential here. They know that they would like this to move forward, but I feel it's a lot of fears with them. And like I was saying with this Four of Wands, that kind of commitment phobe type of vibe. I wouldn't say that this person is a full-on commitment phobe. It's just like a reluctance. Like I was saying with the Hanged Man, it's a reluctance to move forward too quickly. It's like they almost feel like they need to see the full picture of what's happening, hence the Temperance, slow and steady with this, right? Being very patient, balanced with this, first date, second date, third date, right? They feel that they need to approach it that way because it's scary for them. And I feel the thing for them that is really the trigger point is this magnetism and this draw that they feel toward you. Because based on this person's past experience, every time they've had this chemistry and this draw with a person, and we could even say chemistry with Temperance as well, every time they've had this chemistry and this draw with someone, it's always turned out bad. It's never, ever been good for them. And I feel, Libra, you guys can say the same exact thing, because that's everything I was saying with you guys' card. So with them, it's kind of overwhelming in a sense. So if you guys are feeling a sense of like reluctance or distance or like being kind of rigid with this person, that's where it's coming from. But I can tell you it's not necessarily anything to worry about, especially if this is new, because it's new. That's how it should be, right? So it's more or less just taking things one step at a time. And it's like inadvertently kind of being forced on Libra's side to have to be patient with this. You know what I'm saying? But there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because it's fairly new, especially if you're used to jumping in head first with things. Now, stepping back a little bit for my people, if you guys have been seeing each other for some time, I feel like this could be frustrating because you would be not sure if this person is like showing you change or if they're just playing games, but just in another way. So I feel for those of you where you've been dealing with this person for a while, it could be kind of annoying to where you'd be suspicious of like, are they stringing me along? Are they BSing me? Like, what's the point here? But I would still say the same thing. If this person is showing a level of consistency to where, they're consistently showing up, they're consistently investing, they're consistently calling, they're consistently making dates, right? I would say ride the wave and enjoy the process. You know what I'm saying? Not investing too much into it to where, you put yourself in a pickle, but it's like enjoy that slow and steady, because in order for a stable foundation, which again, with this Four of Wands, with that falling under the Temperance, in order for you to have a stable foundation in a relationship, they have to be built like this. And ironically, this is what all people ask for, but it's what I see consistently. I can even say from my own experience, every person that you have chemistry with, you always end up jumping in head first, and you never take the time to do the slow and steady and getting to know each other. You know what I mean? And it's like all the stuff, like the logistics, you figure that out afterwards. And that's why it never works out, because there's so many you could have found out in the first 3 months of knowing a person that you completely overlooked because you were like so, drunk in love over the feeling, right? But then whenever things are moving slow, it's traditionally with a person that you don't feel that chemistry with. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of the best of both worlds that I think every human I've ever worked with in my lifespan, right? Wants. They want that chemistry and they want that slow and steady. But I feel the process to which you get there is you have two people who have been through a lot of stuff that are scared, terrified, reluctant, looking at each other side-eyed. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the only way that these boundaries get implemented, to where we're going slow, to where I'm dead ass giving you the side eye every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not investing too much into this because, I don't know you and I don't know if you're going to be like everybody else. But I feel if the two of you continue to go this route, I really do feel that this can turn into something. Like this has the potential to grow into a very healthy relationship, because the foundation was built properly and in a desirable time frame, to where all the questions that both of you have about each other can easily be answered, to where you're not walking into this blind, if that's making sense. Now I'm going to throw the dice of resonance. So go ahead and ask a yes or no question. And I'm going to throw the dice. They have like zodiac signs and all the things in there. So ask a yes or no question. I make the weirdest faces when I shake these. All right. We have male, we have sun, we have Gemini, we have friend, and we have Libra. And the answer to your question is yes. All you gotta do is say yes. Don't deny what you feel. Okay, I'm gonna stop. So male, sun, Libra, Gemini. So they can be a Gemini sun or a Libra sun, friend. And the answer to your question is yes. So Libra, you guys are the first time where I went over 30 minutes. Couldn't help it. This was too good. I had to get all the tea out. But anyway, that's been your connection session for August. Most certainly let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I love your freaking face, and I will see you guys.